Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yesterday, we were looking into the concept of packages. We have finished the concept of modules, and we have started off understanding what is a package. So, in a nutshell, if I just have to define what is a module, I can say like functions together, grouped together into a module. Modules grouped together, they form a package. Okay. So it is just like a directory that you have. It is just like a folder that you have. But in Python and in programming languages, we call it as a package. Okay. So a package consists of collection of modules and other packages. A package can have a sub package, and the sub package can also have a sub package. Okay. So there can be any number of levels inside your package. Okay. So a package, a sub package, a sub package, and so on, but the innermost thing should be your modules. Okay, so let us try to understand how to create packages. Now coming to the package, how do you create packages? Okay, so we know that package is a hierarchical file directory that has modules and other packages in it. This is the definition of package. So I'll be creating a package, and then I'll be putting the modules inside it, and I'll be adding it. So you can see in Python is a directory which must contain a special file called underscore underscore init underscore underscore dot py. Okay, so this is like a mysterious file inside your packages, but the purpose of having this file inside your packages is to tell Python that this is not a directory, this should be treated like your standard library. Okay, so you're telling your Python, whenever your Python sees this particular file inside your package, it will understand that this is not a directory, this should be treated like your standard library. Okay, so py file, which is also called as init file, so which will be there in the packages, and you just have to create it and keep it in the package. It can be empty also. Okay, so it can be empty, or it can have some statements in it, like configuring your logging details and all that. You can put it whatever you want to execute. Before executing your modules, you can put them inside your init.py. Okay, create the packages, watch the video regarding this. Okay, fine. Python does this, it will search. Okay, so packages, it will search for the packages in this path. Okay, sys.path. And what your import statement does is, the import statement will actually do the binding process. What is this binding process? You want to import it from some other package into your program, right? So this import statement will actually bring that namespace and attach that namespace to your local space. Local space means that the program that you are working on. So it will bring the package, the space of the package, and it will actually combine it with your local space. So that's what this import statement will do. Okay, so how do you import? You will be doing it as import, then the package, then the sub package, and the sub package, separated by the dot connector over here. So you can see there is a dot over here. So this dot means that this is the package, and this is the sub package, and this is the sub package. Okay, so say I'm having a folder which is A, and inside the folder maybe I'm having a folder B, and inside B folder I'm having folder C, and inside this C folder I may be having modules. Okay, so maybe I'm having some module which is x.py, and I can have another module which is y.py. Okay, so here A, B, C are the packages, and XY are the modules. Okay, so each item except for the last should be the package. Okay, right. Next one is the globals, locals, and reload. So actually will give all the global attributes that are there in your global symbol table. A compile will return the local symbol table. Okay, so let me show you how this works. So I have written a program over here. So looking at this program, you'll understand it very clearly. So I have written a program wherein I have a is equal to 20. And then after that, I said I have a definition. I have a function over here. So function definition I have. So which is picked, and I just have taken two arguments over here. And then what I did, I said, so I have k is equal to 30 and all that. Then I said locals, and then I said locals. I have given this method which is locals. Okay, so this is just for me to understand in the output what are locals and globals. I have written this string over here to appear in the output. Then I said return. So I said g into h into k and all that. Then I have written another print over here, wherein I'm adding this a plus this pick and calling this function over here, and I said globals. Okay, so what will happen is, so see here, as the control comes over here, and to do this plus operation, it need to know the result of this pick. So what happened, the control have jumped to the pick function, and inside the pick function we are having 30, and then I said locals, and I said locals, right? So it is showing me here locals, and it is listing me all the local variables. What are the local variables? G is a local variable, H is a local variable, and K is a local variable. So it is showing me that these are all the locals over here. And then after returning the value, and I have printed global. Okay, so when I printed the global, what it is doing is it is trying to print all the global identifiers that it has encountered. Some will be used by your program for execution. The rest of the things, you can see something over here. I said A20 and pick and all these are the global identifiers. So local and globals will actually identify or pick the values from the global symbol table and the local symbol table and print it for you. So you can use it for debugging your programs. So locals will return the local symbol table, identifiers in the local symbol table, and global will return the identifiers in the global symbol table. So I think you are what is meant by a reload method. Okay, so for example, you have imported a module into your program, and modifications done in the module that has been imported previously into a program. If you want that modifications to reflect in your program, okay, so then what you have to do is you have to reload. Use this the time module, which is there in Python standard library. So I'm just using it to print the current local time. Okay, so what is the local time? So my system's time. Okay, so it is showing me the time over here. It is saying it is June 28th. It is Monday, and this is the time it is showing. Okay, so 9:30 around, and it is showing me the time, and then it is giving me the year at the end. You can also format it however you want. In the time module, you have many functions. Okay, so inside that functions, you can format the output however you want. Okay, so I just have done the import statement. So whenever I said import the time, it will take from the standard library the namespace of time. It will bind it to the local program and to my main program, and then I'll be able to use this particular functions inside the time module. So I'm referring it as time dot. Then I am saying this is ASC time and all that. So once I use this function, it will be getting the time of my system. Okay. So on which system I'm executing this program, that system time is extracted and it is put in the output for you. Okay. So this is how you'll be using the time module. There are many other. Next one is get pass. Okay. So get pass is a module which provides two functions for you. So the first one is like which is a password. Okay, so get pass is one of the functions, and the other function is get user. So this get pass take the user logins and passwords. So what I'm doing, the module is get pass. So I'm importing get pass. So I said import get pass. The name of the module is get pass. So what happened, whenever I said import, import is a keyword which will actually bind the namespace of get pass to the local space. So the binding happens with the import statement. Then I said p is equal to get pass dot get pass. So this inside the get pass, I'm having two arguments. The first argument will, I said prompt is equal to enter password. So what happens is on the screen, okay, so we'll prompt the user to enter the password. So I have entered Sudha, for example. So now we are checking whether the password is correct or not. So the mapping happens over here. If P is equal to Sudha, then what happens? Hi there, you're a valid user or something. I'm printing. Okay, so saying welcome or the home page. Okay, so if the login is correct, saying password wrong. Okay, so get pass is a module from where like you can use this get pass and get user functions in your applications. Okay, and next is the random module. Okay, so random module will generate the random numbers. So this is the module. So I'm importing import random, and then I just wanted some 10 random numbers, and it will give the random numbers from 0.0 to Okay, so 0.0 to 1.0. So it will generate the numbers between this. Okay, so I'm saying random dot random. So I'm just printing X over here. So it will just print some random numbers for me. Okay, so this will return me a double, so floating type. So I have got these random numbers. So these random numbers which is there in random module. So these are some of the modules to discuss. And next is function redefinition. So let us look into this concept of what is function redefinition. So I have a display method, so wherein which is taking a string. Okay, so then I said print m, and again I said display method in the same program. This is in the same program, not in different programs. This is in the same program. So I have two different functions which are having the same name, and also the parameters are also same. Okay, so I have the same parameters. Actually, if you look into this concept in C programming, you cannot have two functions with the same name itself. Forget about the arguments. Forget about the arguments. You cannot have two functions with the same name. That is not allowed in C programming. But coming over to C++, what they did is they made it a bit different, and they have introduced the concept of function overloading or method overloading, where you can have two functions with the same name with parameters difference in the signature. And the same concept is there in Java also. Okay, so from C++, certain C++ is also an object-oriented programming language. From C++, many things have been taken into Java, and this function overloading concept is taken in Java, meaning that I can have two functions with the same name with a different signature. So that concept is there in Java also. Okay, so but the signature should be different. Okay, so the parameters should be different. That's the constraint there. But here what happened is I'm taking both the arguments to be of same type. Okay, so I'm saying redefined the function. Okay, so this is the function I have written, and later on in the program I have redefined the function. So this is totally valid in Python. Okay, and what will if I call the display method, so I'm passing Sudha over here. What it will do is it will take the latest one. Okay, so these are for me on the screen rather than printing Sudha, which I have given in the older version with functions, with all functions, then declaration and definition of function, calling a function, returning values from the function, passed by object reference, formal and actual arguments, wherein we discussed four different types of arguments, then the local and global variables, and also we discussed the non-local keyword, and then recursive functions, and then the lambda functions. Okay, so anything left out in functions, or did we discuss everything?
All the concepts are
All the
completed, ma'am.
yes, all the modules we saw. What are modules and files? Okay, so and then we saw the namespace, then importing modules. I have shown you the programs and the module built-in functions, and then the packages. Okay, so all these concepts are quiz. Okay, questions in your notebook. Just write the answers. Just write the answers in your notebook. I will call anybody to give me the answer. Okay, is it clear? Did you understand? Give you 2 minutes time. Please answer these questions.